Hello and welcome to another edition of Siena Saints Weekly. I'm your host, Andrew Champagne. In just a moment, we'll be joined by Traci Robertson from Siena Water Polo. But first, let's take a look at the week that was in Siena athletics. Men's lacrosse won their third in a row Tuesday in dramatic fashion, knocking off Stony Brook 12-11 in their home opener. The Saints scored the game's last 5 goals, and goalkeeper Tom Moore stopped all 6 shots on goal in the final quarter. Here's Siena head coach John Svak after the victory.
It's a big win, obviously, for the program. I think it's the first time we've beaten Stony Brook. Obviously, the first win here at home, so it feels great. The guys dug in, and I think I heard you guys say you're playing. We're trying to play with a sense of urgency. I think you probably saw that, and these guys know what it means to win at home.
The Saints will look to extend their winning streak on Saturday when they host Providence in a 2 p.m. tilt at Siena Turf Field. Meanwhile, women's lacrosse came out victorious on St. Patrick's Day, topping Bryant 9-8 in overtime. Freshman Alyssa Trainer scored 3 goals, including the game winner in the extra period. Here are trainer and head coach Andrea Duffy after the game.
We worked together as a team. It took everybody on offense to get it, so I'm not taking any credit for it. I think that our team did a really good job on offense today.
Our goal today was to execute a game plan of teamwork, and that's what we did.
The Saints return to the field Saturday for a stiff test at number 17 UMass. Game time is set for 1 p.m. Baseball returns home this weekend from their annual Southern Swing. The Saints open MAC play on Saturday when they kick off a 3-game set at Canisius. Softball is now 6-9 following a spring break trip to Maryland. They're off this week but return to action on Tuesday with a doubleheader at Binghamton. Men's and women's golf opened the spring season this past weekend at the Siena Invitational in Florida. We were down there with the Saints. Let's take a look.
1, 2, 3. Siena!
The second annual Homewood Suites Siena Invitational finished up Saturday at PGA Village in sunny Port St. Lucie, Florida, in what's becoming an annual tradition for the Siena golf programs. The Saints spent spring break cramming in practices before teeing it up in the season opener.
We squeeze a lot in 6-7 days, that's for sure. Our days are starting at 7 o'clock in the morning and they're ending at about 8 o'clock at night. Absolutely maximizing our time down there.
The past week has been awesome. It has been nice to be outside in 80-degree weather and be able to hit golf balls outside, be able to chip and putt as well.
The men finished 6th at the tournament, while the women finished 4th. The week also featured the annual Turkey Cup matchup between the upperclassmen and underclassmen, and while the rust is still being worked off, the Saints are optimistic that the hard work will lead to MAC championships during the team's second trip to Florida next month.
It's an invaluable time for practice for us, especially as a sport that needs to be outside, in competition, in tournament play, and getting the tournament reps down here is hugely important as we move forward through the spring.
It was a good time. First tournament of the year, so didn't have our A games, but good weather. It was great being down in Florida. The weather was awesome, and it was great.
We got some freshmen in the lineup this weekend. Hopefully that'll pay off as we work toward the max.
The men will next be in action on March 25th at LaSalle, while the women next tee it up on March 26th at Richmond. The MAC tournament is scheduled for late April. Siena tennis also returned from spring break this week. The men went 1-3 in Florida, while the women went 3-1 in Hilton Head, South Carolina. The women host St. Bonaventure Saturday, while the men are off until next Thursday's showdown with Wagner. And Siena Water Polo spent spring break out west. They'll open MAC play this weekend, and joining me now is senior Traci Robertson. Traci, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You spent spring break out in California and also in Michigan for the Michigan Invitational in Ann Arbor. How was your trip?
It was amazing. We went on spring break as one team, and I feel like we came back as a whole different team, and we really grew a lot.
You're a California native. There are actually several West Coast natives on the team. How cool was it to be able to go home for spring break, in a sense?
It was awesome. There's 6 of us from California, and pretty much all of our families came to the games. We had dinner at everyone's houses, and it basically just felt like I had this huge extended family, and it was really nice to see my puppies and my parents and my sister.
We mentioned your trip to the Michigan Invitational. The team actually won its last 2 games in that tournament, including a thriller against Gannon in double overtime that we'll get to in a little bit. How much momentum do you think that gave the team heading into conference play?
I definitely think it gave us a lot of confidence. We did have a couple rocky patches while we were in California, so to end on a good note right before MAC season really makes a difference, and I think we're really ready and prepared now.
You assisted on that game winner against Gannon in overtime. Walk us through the play.
Well, I believe Leah drew the ejection, so that was definitely a very key play that we needed since we were tied at the time. And I was at the 6th spot, so I walked it in and just tried to fake the goalie and get her on me, and then I passed to Katie Ness, and then she shot and scored, and it was awesome.
What were some of the reactions by the team after what was such a close game throughout?
I think everyone was really hyped, but everyone knew that we had to still finish overtime and make sure that we had good defense.
What are some of your goals now that we're entering the MAC portion of the season?
I think our biggest goal is just to make sure that we go out there and do our best. We really want to beat every team at least once. As far as I've been here, we've never beaten Iona, so that's our biggest goal, I guess, right now. And then just to beat every other team and make it to MAC championships and hopefully win.
Going out of the pool for a minute, you're a senior and you carry a really impressive 3.9 grade point average. Any thought on what you'll be doing after graduation?
Well, I have an internship with PwC set up for the summer, and then I'll have 1 semester left of the master's program, and I'll be done in December. So I guess we'll see from there.
Well, best of luck to you on
Thank
that.
you.
Certainly a fantastic outside the pool career here at Siena, as well
Thank
as
you.
inside the pool with water polo. Lightning round time. Here we go. Your favorite movie?
I'd probably have to say She's the Man.
Favorite TV show?
I really like the 90s, so I'm going to go with Boy Meets World.
The funniest member of the team?
I honestly can't narrow it down because we have a bunch of hams on the team, so I pretty much think I probably have the funniest team, so they're all hysterical.
What have been some of the funnier things that have been done this season to try to loosen the team up?
Recently, 3 of the freshmen made a video and posted it to YouTube of all the different personalities on the team, and they each pretended to be a different person, so it was funny to see what they each came up with for each person.
That team has a lot of very strange video capabilities. I remember last year at the Student Athlete Talent Show, they did a video that I believe was keyed by the memorable phrase, "Oh look, it's Ellen Howe," and set to a song by Chris Brown.
It was.
Fantastic, just fantastic. Your biggest pet peeve?
When people chew with their mouth open, I suppose.
It's not attractive, that's for sure. Last question, if you could have dinner with any 3 people, dead or alive, who would they be?
I'm going to go with an eclectic bunch, so I would say Mother Teresa, just because I've done a lot of research on her in my time at Siena, and I really admire her. Justin Bieber, because I think he's really cool, and I really love his music, regardless of what everyone else thinks. And probably my parents, just because I love having dinner with them.
Well, that certainly is an eclectic group. Traci, thanks very much for your time, and best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
Again, Traci and the Saints open MAC play this weekend. They'll play VMI and Wagner at Marist on Saturday before squaring off with Villanova and Iona in New Rochelle on Sunday. That'll wrap things up for this edition of Siena Saints Weekly. I'm Andrew Champagne, and I'll see you next week.